Good morning, afternoon, evening, guten tag, bonjour, buenas noches, buenas tardes, all of that great stuff. My name is Holly,
Hello, humans. All that she said, and my name is Fatu.
and this is Morning Mimosas, where we value criminal justice, healing, and education for the Black community. And y'all, we might sound a little cheery right now, but the case we're going to be talking about today needs to be handled with care and delicacy on the part of the victim and going in on the perpetrators, dead or alive. And you guys will see what we are talking about momentarily. But welcome to Morning Mimosas. If you guys are new here, thank you so much for joining us on this Saturday. And I hope wherever you are enjoying some decent weather. Um, I'm Fatu. The subject of today is the beautiful soul. It's Aarone Thompson, and we're going to go ahead and show her one more time.
Get that sweet face.
Look how cute she is, y'all. That's Aarone Thompson, guys. She was born November 30th, 1998. She was born to Aaron and Lynette Thompson. Um, at the time of her disappearance, her parents were estranged from each other. Um, a question did come up of where the mother was, but we'll get to all of that.
Mhm.
Um, the disappearance took place in Aurora, Colorado, unfortunately. And to give the address, it is 16551 East Hefner Place. So
Hmm.
let's talk
Dig if
about
you
this.
must. Let's tear it down, dig under, and rebuild.
Let's start. Um, Miss Aarone Thompson was reported missing on November 14th, 2005, by her sperm donor. And the reason I say sperm donor because that man was not a father. Um, so her sperm donor called the Aurora police stating that his 6-year-old daughter was missing. Um, after the Aurora police did some investigating, they figured out that the girl was missing a little bit longer than November.
Shit, not even a little bit. I mean, like, it's one of the things that disturbs me about a lot of these missing people cases, is when the person has been missing for a long period of time, and even more so when it's a child, um, because what is being told to people, um, for a year and a half.
Yeah. It gets worse than that.
Mm.
The mother, Lynette, she was actually in a homeless shelter in Detroit at the time of her daughter's disappearance, and she hadn't seen her daughter since October of 2001.
So technically, they could have said that she was with her mom, and if she was in a shelter and no one knew her where she was or spoke to her, then okay. But no, no, somebody had to know that that baby was not there. What are you telling people?
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things about this case. One of the sons of the stepmother, the girlfriend of the sperm donor. So here we're not going to. I mean, we might say their names. I might slip up and say their names, but we want to put more respect on Aaron May more so than her
Hmm.
sperm donor and
All of
alleged,
the parties.
you know. But he had a girlfriend who was pregnant at the time, and she had kids by other people. And one of the children said that he helped his mother dispose of her body. Um, and this came out in a report in August of 2009. Because as most of you guys know who know about this case. The sperm donor was convicted on September 28th of 2009, and he got 114 years. And the specific charge was child abuse resulting in death. Although um, we must say her body has
Yeah,
never
I was holding on to
recovered.
that one. That's a hard pill to swallow that somebody has admitted to disposing of her body. They know what they did and where she is. At this point, one is deceased and the other one is serving time. Why won't you tell where this baby is? That's sheer just it's evil on top of evil on top of evil at this point.
Yeah, that man, he obviously has no morals. Um, we're gonna go ahead and show him. This is just to show you guys who this low life is. And I am gonna say his name. His name is Aarone Thompson. He's just the man who created little Aarone. So um, he is the one that is currently serving 114 years in prison. And also, just to show you the second party that was a part of this, her name was Shelley Lowe. She was the girlfriend of the sperm donor. Um, I guess justice kind of happened for her quicker than we wanted.
Mhm.
Um, she passed away on May 12th of 2006. Um, and God, I hope it was painful. But sorry, that's it. Sorry, y'all. Woo! I knew I wasn't gonna hold that one in, but
I mean, and then you have kids. And if somebody would have messed with your child, you would have acted a fool, but you thought it was okay to unalive somebody else's child?
that's what she did. That's what she was accused of, but she got away with it because she passed. So I mean, I wish they could
That
prosecute the
karma
dead.
stops there. I mean, she has kids, so it's gonna come. It's just she's just not gonna feel it, of course, because she got the easy route.
Yeah, it's pretty pathetic. I also grabbed this while I was looking through information. There were 7 children living with these two lowlifes at the time that Aarone was missing. The 7, as well as the child that she gave birth to, they were all sent to child services. So it's and if you guys in the comments, if you guys need to bring up anything, please let us know as well. We will be
Mhm.
happy to do that. It's I don't know. This is really really
It's
disheartening.
hurtful. It's like I'm trying not to cry because it's so. If you didn't want her, give her to somebody that like. For me, it's almost like that simple. It's just that simple. If you didn't want her, why not just give her to somebody that does? And how do I say this? Um, I really don't want to know how they killed her because I hope she didn't suffer. You
That
dispose of her body. What condition was it in? It's just, and as a child, what could you have done to an adult for them to do that? And what's up with these fathers? God, man, this is 3 in a row where the dads are pieces of shit, really. But you serving 114 years and you're that evil and that neglectful and that far removed that you have no remorse on what you've done to your child, and you can't even let people know where her body is so that she can at least be in some type of peaceful rest.
we're talking about you, sir. Um,
Like, I hope that he's tortured every day. until he gives it up, and then tortured for the rest of his breathing life.
I agree. So if you guys are just joining us, we are talking about the Aarone Thompson case. Um, it, it's 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 a pretty pathetic one on and I mean it's pathetic because of all the adults involved. And I feel for Miss Aarone's mother, but my concern becomes, I mean, obviously, no, you know what? I'm not going to put no blame on her because obviously that man was abusive and controlling, and he was able to get his kids away from her.
Yeah.
So I have nothing but sympathy for her. Like I don't know how she, but not, I haven't
But
seen her
for
her
all
daughter
we
since
know, Holly,
2001.
he could have been trying to get her back. You know what I mean? She may have been a catalyst for them people finding out. She could have been inquiring. She could have, because when
That's
you're in
true.
shelters, you get resources. You start to learn things, different avenues on how to better yourself and protect yourself and your children. So, um, and that doesn't happen overnight. We all know that. We know the system, people in the system move like sloths, right?
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
she could have been the catalyst for people to really find out that the baby had been missing, because how do we know she didn't roll back around? You know what I'm saying? And where are my kids? I want my kid. Now I have the law on my side to get my kids back, especially if she's living in a shelter.
That's true.
Something was going on, but
I,
it would have been easier if I mean, at 6, and only if she's been missing for that long, she never registered in school, so there's no type of school system that would have been inquiring about her. Why hasn't she started school? Where is she? Daycare doesn't matter because you can change daycares at your will, not anyone else's. So
that's
as far
true.
as anyone in a position to say where is this child, from even a government standpoint, a teacher standpoint, a caregiver standpoint, there's no one.
There
So
is no one.
there's no one. So it would have had to been a family member. Like, where's his family? Where is her family? The subhumans, the two people that, um, but also the children that were in the house, they're messed up because you can't tell me they didn't witness it. They didn't hear something. She's gone here one day and gone the next. At some point, even the one that helped dispose of the body is not holding ice water. But imagine the fear. you know um Not only did you decide to um break the law, thou shalt not kill, break the law, you can't murder people, um and then you got your children involved, you got your child involved.
And then she died.
And
And
right,
then she
let,
got to
let
die.
everybody else to hold the time. Why go the easy route? Yeah.
I just, I don't know. I just, look, let me tell you something. I don't know. Like, I'm kind of like on the fence when it comes
Not that I
to
wanted to
how I
pay for
feel.
her to be fed and clothed and all that shit. So yay, but I would have
Right,
much rather the state done it than whatever else.
right. That's
Hmm.
my whole dilemma.
Like the dad,
But,
you can go ahead and kill him off now,
right,
and not the
what are we
easy
wasting?
way, and not the easy way.
What are we wasting 114 years of
Yeah.
taxpayer dollars for? Because, okay, for some people that don't know, this is in certain states, so please check the information for whatever state and whatever country you are watching from.
Hmm.
But here in the United States, some of the states, if you're convicted of a crime, even after you die, your body stays on a prison cemetery until your sentence is
As
over.
it should.
And then once that sentence is over, whatever descendants you have can come get you. But
Don't nobody, no, let them stay.
so,
They should just cremate them and throw them away. Throw the trash. And I know
I
that somebody's family. I get that. Um, everybody has someone in their family that's incarcerated for whatever, whatnot, doing whatever, whatnot. So I don't want to be insensitive. But I hate when people, I mean, I hate when people hurt children and old people, people who cannot defend themselves. Mm-mm. I have no sympathy for it.
I agree. Um, I'm going to go into a little bit of details on what Miss Aarone Thompson was allegedly wearing. So, if you live in the Aurora area, or if you did live in the Aurora area between 2002 and currently, please listen up. She was last seen allegedly in a white sweater, a gray hooded sweatshirt, pink sweatpants, white sneakers, and a pink rubber band hairband, a pink rubber hairband. And that was allegedly on November 14th of 2005. But according to the Aurora police, they suspect she was missing as early as May 2002.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think somebody's at my door and she's going crazy. Keep talking. I'm just gonna
Um,
I'm gonna take you with me. That's the luxury of podcast. Anything happens and you keep the fucking show rolling.
okay. Um, but my question is, how do you guys know what she wore if she was missing as early as 2002? I just I have so many there's a lot of unanswered questions
Out.
that I have about that.
Out.
Like, sorry y'all, guys, I'm about to open up my laptop real quick. Um, I actually started doing these shows on my phone because it's way more fun and I could play with my tripod. So I'm gonna log into my computer real quick, and I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I just think that it's just absolute madness how well, first and foremost, I have to say this, and this is to the Aurora Police and whatever other else police departments that there is. Um, I know you guys don't give a fuck
Say
about.
that again.
Um, um, I know you guys don't give a fuck. I said it again. I said it again. But
So that we know, y'all know that we know.
and it's just really, really pathetic because um, so we're gonna go on a quick tangent. I'm gonna talk about something I posted earlier about another missing young, not a missing, a lady that was murdered. This ties into what we're talking about. Her name was Tiana Notice. She was a 25-year-old girl who was murdered by her ex-boyfriend in Plainville, Connecticut, on Valentine's Day 2009. Um, the reason I'm mentioning this, and this is to youth police officers who need to do more. She went to the Plainsville Police Department and the Waterbury Police Department 33 times in 6 weeks to complain about that same ex-boyfriend and ended up taking her life.
I still, for years on years, and I say that I think I watched this Lifetime special. I was probably a teenager. So it's been a long time. And after that, with me have been stalked, you still have the question of why do you have to wait for them to do something for you to protect me? I'm not saying you need to put um somebody outside my house.
Right,
But it shouldn't I should be able to do a restraining order without y'all saying, making excuses as to why I don't need to, or dragging your feet. I shouldn't have to call and say this person is bothering me, and this is like the fifth or sixth, 10th, 13th time that I've called, and then you
right,
still take your time to get to me, and oh, we can't do anything until they hurt you, and then they kill you, and then it's oh, she called how many times? Or let's reverse it. Let's say, okay, so you're not doing anything. I'm going to get a weapon and I'm going to protect myself. So then I kill this person who has been stalking me and harassing me, and then y'all want to put me in jail for that when you didn't do your
Oh,
job.
oh, say it again, so
And
say it
I
again.
am extremely curious, and we talk about people who went missing. How do we know that they didn't reach out to somebody and say something was going on in their home? And the police, I mean, they don't, especially with minorities and especially Black people specifically, they don't give a fuck. That's why I said, say it again. They don't care. They are of the same mindset of some medical people who don't believe that Black people feel pain,
Okay.
right? So you're exaggerating. Especially as
Ooh.
a Black woman, what did you do to make this person stalk you, harass you, or want to hurt you? Um, it doesn't. And remember, where did I say to you? I don't even remember when that was. My mind is going in circles. But I was saying about how I believe sometimes they do fake searches. Like they search in places that they know good and damn well that person is not going to be to show good face, but they're not really doing anything else. And that's why it takes so long. It doesn't make any sense. And what made me think about that was the baby that went missing in Fort Hood. Remember? I hate that I can't remember her name. The Hispanic girl who went missing,
The
and they
soldier.
couldn't find her, and they thought that they did the search, and the search when they actually did find her body dismembered after she had been raped. Um, had they gone a little bit further, or had they searched the area that the family wanted them to search? Like it's just if it's your family, you're going to do the utmost. When it's somebody else's family, you punch in and out of the clock. There's not a lot of investigators who are truly wanting to protect and serve and put people away,
Yeah.
who hurt others and break the law. Some are now in it because you can get money from making your own series on TV and sensationalize murders and all the things that you're doing. But that's very few. Even with all of the shows that we watch, there's still not a lot of people day to day in and out, that's that dedicated to finding people. Because if it was, we wouldn't have people on people, right? That's missing. Um, what could you have offered to this man that you gave 114 years to? He was already going to do life. What could you have offered him to get that baby's body, to find out her resting place? You know, not saying that
Oh yeah.
um it could have been, instead of doing 114, you could have said 114 with the possibility of parole, knowing that you never was gonna get this fucker parole at all. Sweeten the
Right.
pot to get to what we want, you know. Um, but I also want to know, is she really missing? We talked about this. Sometimes people go missing and you can't find them because they're literally no longer in the city, state, neighborhood, city, state, and country. They're gone. How much effort is being put into that as well? I'm on a soapbox because I'm just on a soapbox today, but I have a million and one questions. And as much as I um, loathe the fact that only way to really find out some of these things is to actually work with the police departments, knowing that most of them are a part of the um, thieving rings and the prostitution rings and the
Okay.
unaliving rings. And so
Well.
yourself, yeah. So, and that's also why a lot of people are not being found. You're telling me that this a 6-year old, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be quiet for a second. I'm just flailing. It
I
makes
get
no
it.
sense whatsoever. Whatsoever. And can we go back to maybe we can do some type of since he won't tell and he got 114 years, why not put him in a padded room somewhere um, with some torture devices? Y'all do it to terrorists.
Right.
Y'all do it to regular black
Okay.
people. Y'all do it to
Okay.
people that y'all want information for. We want information.
Okay.
The family wants information. Why can't you do it? Where's the extra effort? And then the police department don't want to reach back out to you. They don't want to answer the questions. They don't want to answer the phone. They always busy. All of
Mhm.
these things. It's time. Like it's you can find. There's so many different avenues of how you guys track people. We have satellites. How can you not find? How can you not find people? Because you can even find their bones at this point if they're still there. If they haven't grounded them up and did whatever, whatnot.
Right. That part.
It's just not enough. It's just not enough. And I'm not saying you have to be 24 hours beating the pavement, but in years on years, there's no development. That tells me the police are involved. They know. They may not have been the one to take somebody or kill somebody, although that's also a possibility. They may know who's
Right.
doing it and don't say anything. And then, people get murdered in front of their children because the police didn't do their job.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, we are talking about the case of Miss Aarone Thompson. As you guys know, just in case you guys are currently joining us. But we're also just talking about people being missing just in general, because that's what me and Miss Hockey do. That's what our career paths are, and that's exactly what is going to get done. Um, she was talking about how just the police don't give a fuck. There's no there's no way around that.
Mm-mm.
There's no gray area. No, it's just right there in your face,
Mm-hmm.
slapping. Um, Wichita Police, if I
Mm.
may, um, say something to you really quick. You guys arrested Matthew Andrews a few days ago um, for the homicide of two women. I thought it was one, but I believe it's two. Um, and then he shot somebody else. So, um, as most of you guys know, um, Lonnie H.K. Holt is the son of Miss Shonda, and I'm very close with her. And my message to you guys today is, had you guys gotten him for HK's murder in the first place, both of those ladies would be alive.
But also, let's talk about if they would have probably stopped him before that, because I'm pretty sure that wasn't the first time that he did some shit or killed somebody or broke the law. So it's like feast or famine, right? So it's either we're going to do absolutely nothing or we're going to go all the way to the extreme. We either going to, allow you to kill people or we're going to put you in jail for life for selling weed. There's just, but absolutely, these ladies' bloods is on your hands because you've known for a very long time that this man killed him. There's no way you didn't know.
So while I'm on a roll there, so I'm gonna call out two different people, well, three. Chief Joe Sullivan of Wichita Police, the original detective Michelle Tennyson, and then a current detective, Detective Palmer. Um, so I'm gonna divulge just a little bit of information, and then we're gonna save it for an episode.
Okay.
So I was in contact with Detective Palmer in the recent months, and she let me know some information about the killer or the alleged killer of Lonnie H.K. And she told me that he had just gotten out on a federal bid. Well, if you guys look up Michael Useless Anderson, he just got out of jail doing a federal bid in November of 2022.
I have a question. I have a question. I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
While he was locked up, why wasn't y'all trying to gather evidence to try him for the murder of HK? I'm just curious because that is what can be done. He's already locked up. You have time, even if it's 6 months. That's 6 months of knowing where he is, questioning him, and gathering evidence to then take him from federal to where he needs to go.
Which is
Again, they don't give a
death row.
basically.
um, I don't know. I'm just kind of over it at this point. She definitely could have told me his name. I don't know why she thought that I wouldn't have known that anyway. You know what
Protection.
I'm saying? Like protection from what?
Maybe he has dirt on them. Maybe he's helped them, informing informants. So they're trying to protect, because why are you protecting him? He's a killer. We on the phone. We talking about the same person. It's not like I'm not going to find out who you're talking about. So just give me the information. Other than that, you are protecting him by not giving me his name.
That's true.
Because otherwise,
Whew.
if they didn't suspect him or know that it was him, why would the conversation be having about that specific individual? You know what I mean?
Damn. I don't know.
It's
My
so
frustration.
frustrating and disheartening.
And it is, but I just know what direction we have to go to now.
Yeah.
His killer's in jail, even though he's not charged with his murder, but we now know where that nigga is, and now he's off the streets. And now the person that was shot with HK needs to come forward.
Papa do wrong?
Oh no 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 no! The guy that no the victim that was shot before him.
No, 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 no. I'm saying I want to shout out Papa do wrong because he was one
Oh yeah 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 yeah. What's his name?
that always
Gary.
talks about I don't even remember that nigga name. But
Oh,
but he was one of the piece of shit dads that I was talking about. Um there's three of them. The dad, there's no way he doesn't know. Not caring about their children. And while the world may think that the majority of black men do not care about their children, that's not true. There's
right.
it's a small majority that just do not give a fuck about their children, and that dad is one of them.
Well, in my eyes, his father is his stepfather, Mr. Jackson. And shout out to you and to Mr. Henson.
Hmm.
Um, shout out to you and Miss Henson. Um, sorry that you guys had to lose HK in the first place, but then now another family has to endure that pain that you guys have to.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I was put onto this page in Wichita, where it just shows me everything that's going on there for like crimes and everything else. They got a lot of cleaning up.
I can't imagine Wichita doing anything to help anybody that's not um, rich white people. Because
To do.
even poor
That's
white people are treated like minorities.
true.
Like, what are y'all doing? Just Drinking coffee all day and riding the streets. I mean, I know some of y'all having fuck parties because that's coming out. So while we using our tax dollars and not being protected, and you not finding people who have murdered, committed any other type of crime, or cold case kidnappings, any of that, um, y'all are having sex on the clock.
Oh yeah. That's
Or you're
a,
laughing about how an officer was driving and killed somebody as if her life meant nothing. She's 20, what is it, 23, 26, and her life has no value. You think that's funny. So how do we expect these type of people to actually really care about minorities? Like an officer killed someone
yeah.
and said she's just a regular person. I don't know what that meant. I don't know if they asked of what her nationality was. Um, but gave out an $11,000 figure, I guess, to send to settle with the family. You haven't seen that? I'm gonna have to figure out where it is and send it to you. It's making its rounds around the internet, and um, like the officer is he's it's his part of the conversation, and he's talking to someone, and these motherfuckers are laughing about her death, like it's funny. So when you think about this type of person that is laughing because someone lost their life, then said that she has no value, she's not valuable as a human being. I can't then expect that type of person with that type of mentality to care when someone who does not share his same skin tone or bloodline or people that he cares about, to find them when they go missing or they get hurt. And sadly, that mentality is the majority in the police department. There, it's not all, but it's the majority. So it's
Unfortunately,
like,
so I see that a few people just joined us. So thank you for joining Morning Mimosas this afternoon, morning, wherever you are currently. If you are just joining us, we are talking about the case of Miss Aarone Thompson. She went missing allegedly in 2005, even though reports say that she was missing as early as 2002. Um, the information we are currently speaking on is just pertaining to not just her, but to everybody that was missing, or just any injustice that is done to our race.
every time you say her
Um,
name, my heart just breaks more and more. Innocence. What
I know
could a 6-year-old child do to you? You have to be an evil motherfucker, for sure.
I mean, look at that baby. I mean, she should be 25 this year, or almost 25.
Yeah, she would have been the same age as my son, who just turned 25. Yeah.
So one of the things I'm going to say, please, please, please continue supporting podcasts like mine and other people who are trying to get justice. I'm not discrediting anybody else, who does like other kind of podcasts, but I'm speaking for people who have the heart to want to help, just like we do.
Hmm.
Um, this young lady needs she needs to be found and put in a her actual resting place, if that's possible. So us as a community, we need to start coming together, putting stuff together, so we're able to do stuff like this. Um,
Yeah.
One of the big things with me, and I thought you as well, is I personally want to start, my private eye firm. and then get the equipment to make sure that we are locating these remains, and
Mhm.
then leaving it up to whatever city that we're in to help the family try to find the remains. Get their coroner's office to do their fucking job, um, so the families can have rest. Like there's another case that happened in 2017. Her name was Alexis Murphy. She went missing from Lynchburg, Virginia, and I just feel like black people don't belong in no city named Lynchburg.
Lynchburg. I don't even want to
No,
buy a snack from there. I don't want them to ship me a snack from there because the name alone tells you that black people don't need to be there
okay.
whatsoever.
She unfortunately, she was murdered by a white man, but her body was not found until after the pandemic. So she went missing in August of 2013, and then her body was found February of 2021.
Mm.
Um, well, her remains were found. Um,
Also, there a lot of people are not found as well because there's development everywhere, right? And so they are putting people in walls and
okay.
cements under the building, under the homes. Like and
Mhm.
that's why. They were building something in Sugarland, which is not that far from me. And when they started to dig, they found all kind of bodies. And most of that were probably prisoners and enslaved, but still bodies,
You
missing
you
people's family members.
you bring up a really good point. Remember when we did the Aisha degree story? Remember how they found her backpack pristine at
Hmm.
a construction site in double bags? That makes me wonder if you and I put our thoughts together and get a group of people who actually want to know the truth about what happened to Aisha Degree,
Hmm.
that construction site needs to be looked at. I don't know if it's turned into something or not, but
I
it
bet you that's where
definitely.
she is. Because why would they put it there? Because why would they put it there? I'm still gonna go back to the fact that it was double bagged and pristine condition, right? On a rainy and cold day or morning where she left her house at 2 something in the morning, allegedly, walking to school.
Which is
Um,
5 miles from her home. Yeah,
so anyone who lives in life in the free world or not know that if it's raining and you step outside of your house and you don't have an umbrella or rain gear, you're soaked. So this baby is outside at night in the windy rain and that backpack is in pristine condition.
that's a point we didn't talk about in this episode. So, guys, we're sitting here. We're talking about the disappearance slash presumed murder of Miss Aarone Thompson, but we're also bringing up previous stories just to make sure that everybody's soul is giving them their voice. Even though we may have spoken on this before, but this is mostly about Miss Aarone, but we're just bringing up other stories, so it's it's all relatable. I
Hmm.
never even thought about that. That
Yeah,
that that part, like it was heavy rains and winds, but the backpack was not destroyed and everything was in that backpack. My question too is how did the parents know what was in that backpack? Did they see her package?
because they packed it. She was ruining their anniversary, girl. Because I still don't believe that the dad. Okay, first of all, I'm still gonna go back to the fact that at their big ages, that the siblings were in the same bed, and then the brother said he thought that she had moved because he didn't feel her in the bed anymore. Um, I'm still not. I remember we went back, we were talking about it, and I was like, "But how do you know that she went missing at 2 o'clock?" And he was like, "Because the dad said." And I'm like, "Who said this is telling the truth? We don't know if he did something to her."
and that's true. My So just to piggy on what you're saying, that's kind of an issue that I have with witness accounts of them seeing that they saw her walking down on the highway when it was dark as hell. How did you guys know that it was her? She was, very cute and very like mocha complected. So how
Hmm.
did you see?
You wouldn't see
How
her
did you
face
exactly?
at night.
So so I guess
But
that's
remember,
I
I
guess
kept
that's it.
asking you about the car who said that they saw her and they got out and she ran away. How true is that? And if aren't could you be the person that did that? And remember, I don't know if I said this on camera. I may have said it in our chat of he could have been the one, like he could have known that person and they were looking for her. It just doesn't mean that it's the dad. It could be his friend. It could be somebody that he knew he worked with that's in cahoots with what's going on. Um, and if the story is out and there's two other cars, where's their accounts? Where are their accounts? Because how do you know that there was two other cars?
That whole
Just like this situation, there's so many holes. And of course there are going to be holes because nobody's being honest about what's going on, right?
And then specifically in this case, there's also the fact that one of the suspects died at the beginning of the investigation, so that took
Right.
that whole chunk away. Like
Right.
that's okay. So I'm gonna thank you for bringing that up. So this witch right here,
Mm-hmm.
um, on May 12th, 2006, um, this lady here, Shelley Lowe, and her last name fits her.
Because she
Um, you know, she took her last breath. Um, And may I remind you, they reported her missing in November of 2005. She died in May of 2006. Oh, she
how
she didn't live.
convenient.
She didn't live 7 months
How
or six.
convenient.
Oh, excuse me, 6 months.
Maybe baby girl came back and got her. Sent her ass to hell.
I hope that's where she's burning. But I apologize. I do want to be respectful of Erin A. and her family. But we're roasting. We're not roasting the family. We're
No,
roasting
we're roasting this
a
cunt.
this suspect who has been dead for 17 years.
She
Um,
got the easy route because whatever she knew is gone. And I'm shocked that dad didn't try to blame her to get out. But how can you do that when she was missing for a year and a half? For real. Y'all just went about everyday life for a year and a half, knowing what you did to this baby. That's yeah.
I don't know. We don't know what Shelley took to the grave. Um, we just know that she took a whole bunch of secrets with her
The
that
one
none of
thing
us
we
will
do know
ever
she
know.
took to the grave is where the body is because her son is the one who said he helped dispose of the body.
That's true.
So she took the location with her. That's the most important thing because for me, knowing someone, if you call me and you told me, so and so died, um, my first concern is not really much how they died. In cases like this, it is that they're gone, but where are they now? Where are they now? Because knowing how she died is not going to bring her back. But what can bring her back from wherever she is to put her in her final resting place is them telling where she is. I In most of these cases, I don't want to know how she died because I'm pretty sure it was very traumatic and hurtful. Because her and the dad, the sperm donor, excuse me, he looks like he has a very sinister smirk on his face when you show that. He has that,
Yeah,
and I'll do it again. Look, that's what he has.
looking like the Hamburglar.
Yeah. And how dare
Mm.
you get to breathe after what you did to the person that came from your nutsack?
Honestly, I think he did it despite his
Yeah,
despite his estranged
absolutely.
wife. Um,
Absolutely. And to be honest, he probably was abusive to this lady here, the other subhuman that's up there. But that's no excuse because you don't then in turn change on the child.
right.
That's I mean, like there's no excuse. And then you continue to have children with this thing. So, 16551 East Kempner. I really think that the house probably should be demolished and the ground should be dug up all around it. But careful when you demolish a house to make sure that if they had any type of construction going on, because she could be in the house. Um, but disposal of the body means they probably moved her, and she could be in the backyard, really.
So allegedly, well, doesn't really matter what the police say because I mean, it, that they buried her in a field somewhere. Um,
Well, what field, and why haven't you find her if she know found her if you know she in the field? Oh, because y'all doing a great job doing your job. Oh.
right, these
So you felt that
so
because you put him in prison for 114 years, you could speculate about where the baby is born, baby is buried, excuse me, and not go look?
pretty much.
Make that make sense. It doesn't just stop there. But again, what did you say before? They don't care about us.
They do not. Because if they did, they would have been like, okay, yeah. So they're just thinking that yeah, he's convicted and that's that.
Mm-mm.
There's still a body that has not been found yet. So
That
we're gonna
means she's
we're
like 4. She hadn't even started life.
oh, when she went missing for real, she was yeah, yep. 3. Because if it was May 2002, she wasn't even 4
Of
yet.
course, she wasn't even 4 yet.
But that's another sketchy thing too, though. That timeline, May 2002 to November of 2005. That's 3 years, 3.5 years
Mm-hmm.
at that. So I mean, do you know how much could have been done in that time? I mean, we don't know because
So,
those
yeah,
stupid actors called the police 3 years later.
but you know what's really crazy is that her body is probably so decomposed that they won't find her.
Oh
That's
yeah, it's been okay. No, Shelley died 17 years ago. It's been what between 21 to 18 years,
hmm
if that timeline is to be proven correct.
correct. Hmm
Um, so yeah, it's definitely bones.
Yeah,
Um, and that's really sad for her and her mom and her brother,
yeah.
the one that is also the child of Miss Lynette. Um,
The only thing that is a positive, because I always say we got to find some type of positive takeaway from every situation, is that she's no longer being abused by them. That's the
yeah,
only thing. That's the only positive that I can take away. Um, I'm pretty sure that her biological mother is and not in a good place and probably would never be because she escaped, but he kept the kids, and we don't know how what that looked like either, you know. And then your baby is gone, and he absolutely could have done that. For how dare you leave me?
I honestly think that he left her spiteful. I honestly think it was him because he was not only was he convicted of child abuse resulting in death, he was also convicted on multiple charges of child abuse for the other 7 children. So I mean,
He need
seems
his ass
abusive.
beat again just because I'm thinking about it. You hate yourself that much that you have to hurt somebody else? Because that's all it boils down to is the lack of control that you have um, for whatever is going on. And people could say that he was mentally ill, and he absolutely could be, but that is not going to be the reason why he did this. He did this because that's what he wanted to do. That's what he absolutely wanted to do. There comes a point where there are sometimes you do things and it's like it's a passion, right? You are in your feelings and you lash out. You put your hands on people. Like those things absolutely happen. But there are some times where you are very cold and calculated.
Yep.
Um, and when I think about the paper that I had to write on, the death penalty and different perspectives and different like that, for the criminal justice class, and I think about how I absolutely feel like if there is, without a shadow of a doubt, that this person is a murderer and they are never getting out of prison, especially if they are a serial killer or they have killed children, let's get rid of them.
Agreed.
We shouldn't pay, but at the same time, prisons don't make money if they don't have bodies. But in the rates that they are convicting innocent people anyway, they could always have a body. But
Okay.
some of these people are still killing while they're in prison.
Exa-
So why are we still feeding them? Why are we still clothing them? Why are we still educating them? Why are we still doing all of these things? And fuck a last meal off them. And I know that that's kind of like a messed up mentality to have, but
No, it's
um
not.
I was
No, it's
already
not.
like that. And then when I started really looking into these cases, like when we started talking and potting and I started diving more into it, and I started taking reading some of these articles that for criminal justice courses, I am really like, no, off them. What were we doing this for?
I know, right? Oh, job.
Because it's not like they're going to be rehabilitated. They're never getting out. They're never getting out. So if you give them life, take their life and bury them under the prison. And what
But
the hell
y'all,
is life plus 25?
we are not going to talk about nothing that has to do with Oklahoma today. So,
Oh, that's not even what I was talking about.
oh, okay, okay, okay.
No, that I already told you I'm not in a good mood. That would have, that's gonna set me off even worse or worser, because that's worse than worse, you know. But when you give someone that amount of time, like, okay, so we'll talk about 114 years. That means that you're gonna treat him so well, because it's absolutely possible for someone to live that long. Because the oldest person alive is 100 and what, 26?
Two,
22.
122. Yeah.
22. Okay. I know it was 20 something. Okay. So he absolutely could live that long. Why are we taking care of him?
Girl, did you look? Let me tell you something. Look at those clogged arteries.
A heart attack
Look at
waiting to happen. Hopefully he
it
got.
is. I mean, just look at this fool. Does it look like it doesn't even look like he'll do like half of that bit.
Well,
They'll probably.
evil people sometimes live a long time,
That's
Holly.
unfortunate. That's
Good people
okay.
die young, and mean people can last a long time.
You're right. You're definitely right. There's a lady whose case I've been following for some years now. Oh, look at me, look at me, look at me fucking up. um, her name is Susan Eubanks. She's on death row in California, and I've been trying to write the governor there, so he can start putting people to death again. She needs to hurry up. She's been on death row since '98. She killed all four of her sons.
Was it malicious or was she postpartum?
It was malicious and she was drunk. She wrote the fathers of the children's letters.
Oh yeah, offer. Send
Um,
her to Texas, they'll kill her.
I mean, Texas does things a little swifter than most states, but the situations like that get me really, really riled up and really, really angry
Mm-hmm.
because she's been on death row for 20 plus fucking years, and now California, for an example, has what is that? There's a specific word. It's like a Miranda. How do they say that? Where they stopped executions for a little bit. Um, but that just frustrates me because there's so many people that are guilty as fuck and need to be put to death.
Yeah.
Another one, um, her name was Rosie Alfaro. She killed a 9-year-old named Autumn back in 1990. She was put on death row when my mom was pregnant with me. I'm almost 31.
So she's still living and kicking. Why are we
Yeah.
feeding her? And I asked for the difference because there is a difference between I'm going to maliciously kill my kids and then I have postpartum and I've killed my children. I feel like if you had postpartum and you killed your children, you should be in a mental hospital.
Okay.
Um, but most people who I'll call them penis carriers, they don't really believe that such things are real. And postpartum is very real. Um, but sometimes I do think about how why don't you just off yourself and not your babies?
Okay.
But then I do know that um, what made me be a little bit more softer in my stance in that was I had to do a paper for my biological psychology class, and it was on postpartum depression and different things like that. And your brain, of course, already knew that you're not living in reality, but sometimes you have realistic thoughts of often you and your kids and everybody else. But that's all I had to say about that. But yeah, you maliciously kill your babies. You know how many people would take your baby and take care of it? Oh, I like those laptop stickers. My man.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. No, I'm just, you guys don't mind me. Somebody that looks like a cop liked one of my stuff on Facebook. So I'm probably slowly starting to get their attention.
Do your job, sir. Get your people to do their damn job, sir.
So, y'all, we're gonna get out of here. Um, we tell you guys these stories, but we also have our coursework, so we're able to go do this in real time and in real life.
Mhm.
Um, as you guys both know, as not. That sounded horrible. I was like, what the
It's the
hell? I was like, what
subject.
was that? What was that choppy shit? No, I was like, as you guys know, we both. That's what I was trying
Mhm.
to say. Both going in the criminal justice field. I will be going to school in April for the legal investigation course, and then I will graduate and become an investigator, a
Boom.
criminal
Boom. Boom.
investigator, and then Fatu will be right beside me doing the same thing.
I just I just really want people to put themselves in these family members' shoes of missing people, of murdered victims. If you know something, even the smallest of details can create a hole big enough to find something. If you're too scared to say it with your chest, write that shit down, type it, and send it in. You know, it's not like if you're in fear for your life and fear of retaliation or whatever, whatnot, you can always send it in anonymously. But say something, because even if it's not for the parents, That person who is missing should be found. Their life deserves a chance. Their body deserves a burial if that's the case.
Right,
Say something. Help the good fight.
right. I completely agree. And on that note, me and Miss Fossey were gonna go be a part of that good fight.
Yep.
Um, but as you guys know, this is Morning Mimosas, where we value criminal justice, healing, education for the Black community. We will see you guys when we see you.
Bye, humans.